would, with their dead bodies, like just do all kinds of horribles. They were just the nastiest fucking people.
So an interesting connection, my grandfather, who was a Soviet pilot, he bombed Madrid. He was flying a bomber. He bombed Madrid in '39. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the rise of Hitler was also in a big way in response to communist threat in Germany. So he was, Hitler, right? The party was National Socialist Party. It was kind of alternative to International Socialist or International Communism that was coming from Soviet Union. And I think if not for this Red Scare, Hitler might not have succeeded in Germany.
I agree, and I think I'll just say this: you can look at the internal, not external, but internal violence, political violence in Germany at the time, and look at the belligerents that were fighting against Germany. Look at the names and the life story of every single leader, and one of them, which group was overrepresented. And of course, this is during a period where they've already seen for the last couple of decades what was happening in Eastern Europe with the Soviets. It's just like the number one threat was associated with one group of people in particular, and it was like the absolute worst time to have that association.
Uh-oh.
We run into this kind of weird college stuff or weird university stuff with history majors. The history field has gotten woke, quote unquote. And it has a lot to do with people replacing old ancient ways of operating with modern day thinking. So they'll look at the Roman or the Persian Empire and they'll start making modern day judgments about how good or bad these people were instead of looking at it and saying, well, that's what history tells us. People thought that way at the time. They don't anymore. The insertion of present day norms in telling history has produced a group of students who really don't know what history is, or have any sort of time period in their heads that they can think of. Most American students walk around with like 100 years or less, which is for governmental and other issues a real deficit. It's really, really hard to produce a good government if you don't bother, or you can't look back and find out what worked and what didn't work. And this seems to be something that is modern in the historical field over the last 10 to 15 years. And it is just eating up the historical field like it is Gunna style. And it just does it in a bad way. Yeah. It replaces, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, even the last 100 years, they do not know well. I mean, my kids, I thought my kids in schools, they will study all this, revolutions, the communist stuff, the history of all this, First World War, Russian revolutions led to, to division of Europe eventually, of the Second World War and all Cold War. They don't study that stuff, a lot. I mean, they just cover it and they don't know much. My son is, I've been buying books, for my son because he was interested to learn more because, we were telling him, but kids generally, they don't understand. And it is like even last 100 years. It is a key to understand where we are in this world now.
Have you? What I've thought is fascinating is that on the alt right, yeah, I was like around a lot of those people, and I mean they tend to be more. They often refer to themselves as third position, as far right, socially, left wing, economically. I am seeing like a lot of like the Overton window starting to like.
Overton window.
Like even like with the TikTok trends, we were saying like, oh my god, I just read Mein Kampf, and like you have these social justice warriors, like all of a sudden they seem like enlightened by what they're reading, and you do see like a lot of the rhetoric that you would not have been seeing used a few years ago by the far left being used now. It's interesting.
Yeah, far left, they definitely do not know Marxism. I've been, I just for fun, I tried talking to a few kids that call themselves Marxists. They don't even know what Marxism is about.
I mean, I think we know a lot of these people wouldn't have liked the Soviet Union and the pretty much at any point in time.
I don't think they would. I think something important about universities insofar as universities are the one place after high school you're supposed to be able to go and think crazy things for 4 years, and then you like get corrected and come out. Obviously, that doesn't happen to everybody. But the tendency. So the guy who taught me, Dr. Curry, he wrote a paper called entitled "Is It Ever Okay to Kill White People?" Now he's a race theorist, and so this is in his like academic genre. It's what he writes about. And people called up to school and were like, texting him like, "Hey, you got to fire this." And at least for me, if you can't write about crazy shit in university, where the fuck can you write about it? So you can talk about it. However, having said all of that, people tend to take some of this stuff, and at least 2 out of 10 people, and that's an assumption on my part, tend to become fairly radicalized, whether it's in a leftward or rightward direction. And that is not ever really healthy.
Yeah, what I see more among leftists, they do not really care about ideology itself. They care about methods of destruction. That's what they study a lot.
Yeah, they care about power. They
care about power. Right. They don't really. There is no like. They understand the basics of what Marxism stands for. They just want to destroy the system because I don't know. They feel like many young people. They feel like they do not fit, or I don't know what. And these professors, they use it to say, okay, this system doesn't work for you. You got to destroy it, and we'll show you how.
But I think that's kind of normal. Like when I was in college, I would see people like Paris Hilton with a handbag that she could sell, and a couple of kids could get treated by cancer, and I could see how there's like how unfair the world is, how there's people born with incredible privilege, and those who just like they got the shaft since birth, and I'm not gonna lie, like even I used to think about how cool it would be to, do horrific things to people, and it would be amazing, and it would be very violent, and fuck these people. I don't know. I think that's probably normal for young men, but I kind of grew out of it, even though I still would say fuck them and a lot of wealthy people in general. But that's just me.
Well, Marx was the first who noticed that. The envy, right? The Marxism is based on two kind of human feelings, like envy and pity, right? So because we envy others, right, and we pity others, cool, right? And that's kind of, these are normal feelings, but Marx turns them into ideology and upside down, and and we say, the result is that, eat the rich, kill the rich, right? It just and young people are susceptible to that.
Hey,
Hey, Lachlan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm finishing up my nails right now. I'm starting to start my makeup.
Oh,
Nothing special. I had some acrylics on and they're starting to come off.
how far are you from Power and Lights?
I'm about like 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Okay. Hold on a sec. All right. Well, yeah. Just let me know whenever you're ready, and text me your address, and I'll send you an Uber, and we'll meet up.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay. So I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye.
version of her words and essentially using that to downplay this and say, oh, well, she wasn't stabbed in the eye.
No, I'm not. I'm quoting her from Fox News. Well, goddamn. Now they
pull up your quote again, and I'm pretty sure you'll see that it's incorrect.
Okay, I'm on Fox.
Because I'm reading the same quote right now.
I'm reading Fox News right now where it says, anti-Semitism exposed, Jewish Yale student stabbed in the eye with Palestinian flag. And then they have a video of her. Then it goes down here and they quote her. Now, what? This is Fox News.
Read the quote again. Does it say jab or does it say tap or scrape or read? What does it say?
It says,
post it up top, Lisa.
I just posted a link up top. Everybody can check it out. Go ahead. I wanted to
Lisa,
read it.
she wrote an article. She's the editor of the Yale Free Press that says I was, quote, stabbed in the eye at Yale.
Okay,
That's
so
the
they
title
have
of her article.
Tara. I mean, what do you want me to do?
I'm just
When
saying
they
she
have
wrote
stuff in
her
quotes.
own article that says, quote, the title is, quote, I was stabbed in the eye at Yale.
Okay, well, I'm gonna leave it since she wrote her own article. I'm gonna leave it at that. But I'm telling you where I got this from, and it's in quotes. When they put quotes around something, that means they're quoting somebody. Is that correct or not correct?
I just read you the quote.
And she has some different sources than quote.
And the other source that she has, same quote. Everybody pull it up right now on Google.
My
It's the same
question
thing.
is, if you're really
The point
injured,
that I'm
why are
trying
you
to make
going
here-
to
one second.
CVS to buy an eye?
One second, ma'am. One second, right? So the point that I'm trying to make here is the lady in question says she was jabbed in the eye by an individual waving a Palestinian flag, right? Surrounded by a group of individuals waving the middle finger at her, right? She was jabbed in the eye. Those were her exact words. That lady was stabbed in the eye.
From the
And
birds.
Lisa's trying to make it seem like, oh, this was just a little
And that's what
fucking
on me.
whatever.
Is he not the Republican from the Bears?
She left NYU, which is a premier.
Yeah, what if somebody did that to your kid? What if somebody did that to your kid? Would you be downplaying it like that?
And get to go to CVS and get an eye patch?
Once again, if that happened to your kid, would you be downplaying it like that?
If my son was stabbed versus scratched, there's a total two different conversations.
Where were you finding scratched from, ma'am?
You can,
Where you find the word
you
scratched
can
from?
call me Lisa, and actually I just quoted her, and then you guys gave me two other quotes.
There's a
So
link
there
up
we
top.
are.
The link up top. Everybody can read her quotes.
Okay, so
In the room.
listen, if you get stabbed in the eye,
Clearly, you're struggling.
I thought
when
we
it comes to
didn't
reading.
yell at women in this room.
I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that.
So again, where do you find scratched? I'm very confused.
And where do you find someone who has an ocular event going on, a tear, a retina, something's going on with their eye, but they let her leave with nothing?
She says in the article, her own article, that she went to the hospital.
And she went to see me test and got an eye
Says
test.
she went to the hospital.
I'm not making it up.
Lisa, last time.
No,
Okay,
crazy.
you're speaking over everyone. Okay, and I'm letting you talk to everyone. All right, so you're getting more opportunity to speak to anyone on the stage. Let everyone make their point before you respond. Let's not talk while they're talking, Lisa.
Okay, I won't. Thank you.
I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. I mean, we're sitting here in a fucking social audio room. We're trying to remix what the lady said. I mean, we got a link up top that clearly shows what she said in quotes, but somehow the word scratch keeps being brought up. The girl says she was jabbed in the eye by the end of a fucking flag, and we're trying to downplay it and say she was scratched in the fucking eye. I mean, it makes absolutely no goddamn sense.
You're right.
Okay?
You're right.
If this happened to any one of our children, we would not be downplaying it. Neither would we respect somebody else downplaying what happens to our kids. Okay? This is point blank period wrong. What world is it okay for kids in a school to gather in the hundreds against one person, especially a female, wave their middle finger around, taunt the individual, and grab the end of a fucking flag stick and jab them in the eye? What world is that okay? So because it's not happening in Berkeley, California, therefore it's not happening in Columbia, New York. Get the fuck out of here. It makes absolutely no sense.
3 months. That's not what she said, bro. That's not what she said. She said that it was not intentional. The girl said that it was an accident. That apparently, there's two different things than actually maliciously taking a flagpole and stabbing it in somebody's eye. That's not what happened. And listen, you guys can cap for these people all day, every day. Like, what's happening on college campuses, yeah, you can debate that shit. But there are conflict entrepreneur groups that are coming in to take advantage of these legitimate protests. Columbia University student group actually came out against some of these outside groups that were outside of the college campuses that were coming onto the college campus to join the protest. They were not in solidarity with the sentiments of that protest. They were not calling for the annihilation of the Jews. They were protesting Israel's activities in Gaza, which is 100% protected legal speech. But because these narratives get drawn up and they say, oh, this guy took a flagpole and jabbed it into her eye maliciously and maliciously wounded this innocent woman, that's bullshit, bro. That's not what the fuck is happening with these students on campus.
TC, let me just say this right here, okay? If I brought a gun to an event and I waved it around just to scare someone, and it accidentally goes off and shoots someone, okay, guess what? I'm still responsible for that death.
That's such bullshit, Jonathan. Waving a gun is a federal crime. Waving a flag is not.
Waving a gun is not a federal crime, TC.
A state crime, whatever it is. It's a crime to wave a gun in a public area.
TC, to get in someone's space, okay, with once again, that flag, the point of the flag can become a weapon, okay? It can be considered a weapon, okay? To put that in someone's face, especially to the point, okay, that is that close right there. So I can wave, but once again, I can have a knife. It's not a crime to have a knife, okay? And I can wave it around, okay? Pointing a gun at someone is considered aggravated assault. Pointing a knife at someone isn't. But if I wave it and I cut them, guess what, TC? It's not like, oh, that's bullshit. He didn't mean to cut him. I shouldn't have fucking been doing it to begin with. I'm responsible for anything that as a result of my actions, is what I'm trying to say. So don't sit here and say that these people, these good innocent people are being, unfairly accused, because if he wasn't waving the flagpole to begin with in someone's face near their eye, trying to make a point, okay, trying to intimidate, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now.
Jonathan, from the article,
Sorry. Can I have a question?
says that this lady.
AJ, hold on.
All right, 1 second. Yeah, guys, thank you.
Can I have a question, Jonathan?
Let's go.
Yeah, AJ came off mic first.
I said let's go.
Just don't forget the part that was before those words to what Jonathan is saying, and I hate to agree with him, but before that in the article it said 100 people surrounded her menacingly. It's not the same thing as just an accidental, he tripped, landed, fell over his dick, and then, accidentally put the flagpole in her face.
The wrong doctor speaking right now. Was the other doctor.
One second. Please meet out, please. Divine, respectfully, and I understand what you're doing, but if someone had already started having dialogue, we're not going to go back 3 minutes into that dialogue. Dog, finish saying what you're saying.
He's trying to take away the part that preceded this and act like it was just an accident, and waving a flagpole isn't illegal. But right before that, she described 100 people surrounding a woman and taunting her and saying all this kind of stuff to her, which is not illegal. It becomes illegal at the point where somebody assaults her with a flagpole. That's just the way it is.
What was she doing? What was she doing in that crowd?
What? She gets her...
In the article, it said that she was trying to make her way through the...
I'm here to sign up on you guys. I'm here to sign up with... Listen, if she was innocent and walking by and she wasn't doing anything, maybe she was wearing some sort of paraphernalia that indicated she was a Jew, and they targeted her, yes, 100%. I'm with you and Nelson and everybody else. She should not have been targeted. But I'm curious to understand the context of the...
She said they surrounded her. Okay, that's why she was in the crowd.
Answer the question.
Please, 1 second. I want to, because I'm going to go explain after this. But she surrounded her and menacingly started, taunting her. So what do you mean, what is she doing in that crowd? That's just like saying, what are you doing in that part of town? What are you doing after sundown?
Or you deserved it because you wore that. Or you deserved
But
it.
5 Chicago police are looking for this man who they say damaged a CTA red line station. CTA security cameras capturing these images last Thursday at about 10:30 p.m. The damage happened at the Grand Stop on the red line. If you recognize him, you're asked to call police.
Blame the victim. Was I wrong?
No, I mean, listen, y'all got me. I can't get loud with the ladies in the room no more tonight, so I'm gonna just go ahead and pass out.
What he asked was why she was targeted, how they identified her as a Jewish person to surround.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what I was asking.
How was she identified? She must have said something on the
In the article, she wears a large Star of David around her neck, okay?
Was she engaging with the audience, Tara?
Oh my God.
Was she agreeing with the
So we go from what she wore to what she said.
Just like I predicted. Come on, TC. She was a campus journalist attempting to figure out what was going on. She walked into that area. She was surrounded and harassed. I don't really see what the point is of going further. You can disbelieve her. You could say, oh, she asked for it. You could say she wasn't jacked. I don't care what you say. Her own words are she was discernibly Jewish. She wore a large Star of David. She went there to check out the situation and she was harassed. Thank you.
First, Tara, my question is, first off, do you accept my apology from earlier?
I think you've been really weird recently, and I don't really understand what's going on with you. Is something wrong with you? Because you've been so violent.
Something is wrong with me. I've been faced with a lot of bullshit on these stages recently.
Okay.
Can I just make a quick comment?
I just wanted to make sure she understood that when we're engaging, it's all respect. You accept my apology or no?
You can't just say the word respect when you're disrespecting and invalidating disrespecting.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm asking Tara. We're trying to clear this up on the stage.
I sort of found your apology somewhat disingenuous. It was like one of those non-apology apologies, but I certainly accept it for what it was.
I apologize, Tara. I hope you accept my apology.
Okay, good. Ghost Plane. One second. I said 1 second, please. Ghost Plane. You've been pretty active in the chat. You with the mic? Ghost again. Are you there?
Ghost Plane. Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah, good evening. Couple things. First off, the original claim was she was stabbed. I've now seen 4 different quotes in which she used different verbs. It's clear what happened to her was a problem, but the way it was originally presented made it seem like they got a knife and stabbed her in the eye. Because when people hear stabbed, that's what they hear. It doesn't matter what she put in her headline. I saw 4 different quotes from 4 different papers. So she clearly has been changing the verb. That's how language works. That's how propaganda works. She shouldn't have been attacked. No one should be attacked. That's what happened. Secondly, the idea that this is happening all across college campuses, the way Nelson said they did, is absolutely ridiculous. There are thousands of campuses across the country. Most kids, students are getting ready for finals, graduations, studying, etc. The spotlight is on Columbia and Yale, not only because they're Ivy League, but Columbia particularly because it's in New York City. The idea that there are these tent cities all over college campuses and people are being stabbed in the eye and no one could get in, and then they have the audacity to ask for student loan aid. It's just absolute right-wing propaganda nonsense. First of all, if you go to Columbia and Yale, you most likely won't need your student loans canceled, because if you can't afford to pay for it, it's free. And the people who can't afford to pay for it, their parents have money. So why you're bashing student loan for people that go to like state schools, like Cal State, Arizona State, when they're just trying to get their educations? It's just this broad sweep that we put across college campus, college students. It's absolutely disgusting. Just because you don't know what's going on across the country doesn't mean you should extrapolate to the entire country. The student loan issue has absolutely nothing to do with what is going on. It's a silly right-wing talking point, most likely from someone who didn't go to college, but that's a different discussion. I'm just going to leave it there. I've been listening the entire time. Just insane takes, totally insane takes. But hey, what do I know?
You don't know shit, no.
All right, so Nelson, you want to respond to that?
Nah, I don't want to waste my time.
Oh.
So, Thomas, I think Thomas, the giraffe was waiting and just got away. The giraffe, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I mean, I'm gonna have to just back up good on this one because it's like you brought up Ukraine and.
Okay, I'm gonna call this Poopa back. Probably gonna go straight to voicemail.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
Yeah, crazy, huh? I mean, wonder why. Oh well. So much for date night.
The headquarters are in Hawaii. That's interesting. Isn't that the same place they had the fire? Oh no, that's a different island.
Hello?
Strawberries look pretty. And so I walked into the hall being very loving and sweet. Hello? Hello? Hello?
She went away again.
But if you look at literacy, but
Some kids just don't reach their potential. Is my point. Like they don't. Some kids just don't try hard. Like the kids who end up having like real family situations where studying and getting like a good example of how to study is just not there. I can understand that, but just in terms of like general subjects, I didn't try very hard in math. I didn't figure this out until I was in my mid-20s. But one of my professors one time said to me, Marshall, you'd be great at math if you just spent the time on math that you spent on history. You know, shit, all the time, all the effort, and I could have been good at math, right? So there are a cohort of high school kids that don't do well because they don't want to, not simply because of their
and I agree.
situation in life.
I was
Wait,
one of
hold
those students.
on. Let Leon respond. Is everybody?
Yeah, just look at literacy rates. Like literacy rates, you know, in throughout the school, right? Throughout the grades, you have like you have school districts. You have schools where literacy rate is just in 30% or something like that. It's crazy. You know, kids cannot read, cannot add 2 + 2. You know, in high school. You know, there is something I think the only way, at least I can explain it to myself, is that most kids they just not incentivized to for whatever reason to study. And maybe it is bad teachers, maybe it is families, but I don't know what it is.
Hey Leon, have you ever met a kid that went to school and for the first half of the day he was waiting on lunch so he can eat? Have you ever met a kid like that before?
Well, I went to school, you know. So you have to wait for lunch for the first half of the day.
No, I'm saying they go to school, haven't ate anything, so the first half of the day they are thinking about lunch because they haven't eaten. Have you ever met a child like?
Well, I grew up in a different country, so I've seen other problems. Yeah, I've seen kids like that, but I don't think it applies to.
I'm talking about in America, since we're talking about America right now.
Yeah, I think it is a problem. So
I mean, Hakima, do you think being hungry? Hold on, Leon. Hakima, like I hear you, but does being hungry does it feel different in another country? Like he's answering with the experience that he had.
No. I know that's not what I was trying to say.
Let me find Kelly real quick, because we're talking about the results of American kids and
I understand Hakima, but he's trying to answer you.
Yeah, Kelly, thanks. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. You know, definitely, you know, if kid is not getting necessarily nutrition, right? It is a problem, right? But are you saying, Hakeem, that all the, like if you look at all the schools with low literacy rates, we will find that kids are literally hungry there, or maybe they, like you think that is a problem? I think by access to food, here in the States, we do much more for everybody. We do much better than almost anywhere in the world. I mean, I think the food, like here, is not. Maybe I'm wrong, but I wasn't right. The food, the access to food, and there are subsidized lunches, and there, right, and there are a lot of programs like for families who cannot afford, basic things, right, to at least not be hungry.
I'm trying to help you understand. Gave you one example why someone might not get the same results, because people have different things going on at home. That at school you're less focused and your drive is not there because you have more problems at home and in your neighborhood. That could be a problem. That could give you a glimpse as to why everyone don't get equal results.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm just saying, if you are, like if you're by the time you finish high school, you literally cannot pass you cannot pass literacy test. Right, there is something, something going on, right? Right.
Yeah,
and again,
I just tried to tell you what's going on.
But it's kind of interesting though, because and I'll just go there. But this whole like illiteracy problem, where whole schools just can't read and are just an absolute disaster. It's a black thing, and statistically you can look at this. This is widely proven. Kids in the lowest income, white kids in the lowest income bracket, still end up doing better, getting better standardized test scores and so forth than black kids in the highest income bracket. For whatever fucking reason, there's something different.
What happened to the Africans you talked about? You said but you said regardless of outcome, you said Africans outdo white Americans.
Africans are a super small minority of the black population in the United States. So how well they end up doing would wouldn't even be a blip. It wouldn't even really affect the national averages for blacks.
No, I'm not trying to change it. I'm not trying to change the national average. You're saying basically you put it on IQ. You basically saying that poor black people have bad results and poor white people outdo people regardless of the situation, and they don't, because you just admitted that Africans do better than all whites. So I mean, I'm pushing back that way.
Wait, Pepe, can I just jump in? I didn't hear him mention IQ, by the way. I think the question is, what are some cultural differences, if we want to go down this road, that may lead to these results? I wonder if perhaps maybe there's just not as much bedtime stories. I don't know, just throwing that out there. But regardless of that, I think I would wager, I'm not sure, but I would guess that reading comprehension across the board is down. Did y'all hear me?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Well, I think I remember Ben Shapiro was
ideas and projecting ideas onto me and Al, when me and Al don't have the same fundamental ideas, so that's interesting. I mean, to come back to what you're saying about what we believe, or at least I believe, I'll speak for myself. So first of all, I do not,
statistics, right?
never did,
right.
will not.
This tend to, these kids, they grow up with single moms who are on welfare, and they get and they're incentivized to live without the dad, right? So they get more, more stuff, right? More welfare, This tend to do worse, right? And if you look at statistics, if you don't get like a child out of wedlock, if you finish high school, suddenly your chances, if you don't drop out of high school, if you just do these two things, right, your chances of becoming like low middle class or middle class improve like by a lot. So yeah.
It's partially true. Ross Chetty, economist at Harvard, he did a massive fucking study. He got like millions of tax returns for over decades, census records, all of this stuff, and a lot. He did do a lot of it was studying like economic mobility. He did it by demographics and income level, everything. And he has maps. It's actually incredible. But when it comes to, here's the interesting thing. And he can only speak statistically because he's working with large numbers. What he found was that having a fatherless home, it had some negative consequences for other groups of people. But it did not affect them nearly as much as it affected black males for whatever reason. And what they also found with black males, it's not necessarily, having a father in the home is not necessarily, it doesn't really statistically change the likelihood of black males going to succeed. What they found was it's the percentage of fathers in the household, in the community that the black boy grows up in. Which I can kind of see why that would make sense, because there would be less kids running around without fathers. But that it's really weird. I don't, and even he doesn't necessarily try to make sense of the data. But yeah, it's and with every group of people, including like black girls. If you look at how educated their parents are, how much what the income is, black girls tend to do relatively compared to white, Asian, Hispanic girls, they tend to do as well as the girls in these other races at being raised in different income brackets and so forth. But the black boys, it doesn't work that way. They underperform